Welcome, everyone, to Analytics, our For the Nerds, a comedy dynasty football podcast. We are 111 days away until the spring training camp happens. Let's go.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Once again, gentlemen, I'm sorry about losing your boner. So sorry.
Very clear 101 in this biggest foot in the mouth draft. And the 101 is very clearly Rex Ryan, because that guy has definitely put some feet in the mouth. 100%. Guy loves feet, his white feet.
Big feet.
Lots of feet in
Little
the mouth,
feet.
I'm sure.
So many feet.
I gotta tell you, you know this about me. I've been around for 20 years. You know I'm like 15 years late to a trend, but I'm also like 10 years before the next trend. I could rock out a visor, I think. I could rock it every day, and not for a long time, because eventually that trend will spill again. But I think tomorrow I can go out and people are like, he's rocking it. He's doing it right. He's doing it.
Hair and the double mustache and that is fucking gross. So welcome.
I do want to be clear, though, that I have earned one, and Lou is depressed. There's a big difference. Lou is still trying to convince 16-year-olds he's cool, and they keep telling him they don't want weed from him. They can get it from anywhere.
Still so good. Guys, it's Masters season. Hello, how are we doing?
Masters week. It's one of the greatest weeks of the year, is it not? I mean, spring is here, kind of, sort of. Golf is back.
I don't know what time. I mean, I know a lot of our listeners are not from Buffalo, but it ain't here. I'll tell you that right now. It's as someone in the contracting business, we are not here now.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see Rory McIlroy, and not sure if I'm attracted to him or just Irish. I don't know. I just love the Masters. It's very exciting.
Let's not. He's too young for you to be attracted to him. We all know that. He needs 20 years. You're gonna want to crush Rory.
And then Sir Rory McIlroy, his grandfather. I'm like, I just want to know how he's doing. But this is such a great time because we have baseball starting again, even though every game's canceled. The Mets are doing really good. The Giants are doing great. Soto's looking good, Lou. And yeah, it's just the time of year where I know you're such a Mets fan. You're like, yeah, this doesn't mean anything. 81 more games left.
That's how I am. I'm like, yeah, he's batting. He's batting for average. He's really a horrible fielder. I don't know if he's worth $700 million, but whatever. We're not there. We're gonna be excited for him, and it's April. It's April.
By the way, when you're trying to sell yourself of like, no, hey, pick me for this job interview. And like, imagine pitching yourself for $700 million. You're like, hey, watch this. Boop. Like, I mean, what are you doing? Oh, I love it. I would want anyone who's even asking for $7,000 to pitch themselves to an MLB team. I don't know. I love it. I love baseball season. Ryan, so you went to the Masters last year. That was very exciting. You're not there this year, not to brag. I don't think that's a thing. Is it weird? Are you happy not to go? Are you going to wait it out? Are you thinking about going next year? What's going on?
Well, it's not like you could just like decide to go. It's very hard to get into this. The only reason I was able to go, my uncle won the lottery back in 2019 and again last year, and invited me both times. It was an instant yes. So yeah, you have to kind of be in the lottery. He's been in the lottery, I think, for like 20 30 years, and finally got his name picked. So, he's put in his time, and I benefited from it. It was amazing. It is a once in a lifetime sports experience. You have to do it if you've never done it.
I wish it was the actual like New York State lottery where he won $700 million and he finally took you. And also I'm like, well, I'm a woman. I can always get invited. So sorry, guys. But we have some very exciting things that are going to happen today. We have a very special guest. We want to bring him from the Cattaraugus County Sports Hall of Famer, Tyler Dunne. Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing, Dunne? How are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm doing good. What an intro. Thank you so much. I don't have like a forest green jacket or something. I'm not, but it was a great event. It was an awesome experience. So thank you so much for your kindness, Allie.
Do you think that that's like, I mean, you believe her, because I know Allie, that she really means that, is that you don't take Cattaraugus Hall of Famer as an insult. That's that's where you're from. That's a huge honor, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? And I said this that night, even through interviewing, like, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, pick any player I've had the opportunity, like covering big events, the Super Bowl, nothing will ever beat like Friday night football in high school, ever. Like the adrenaline rush is intoxicating. I know I sound like Uncle Rico, just reminiscing about those good old days when we should have won states and we lost to Oakfield, Alabama, and the regional final. And I might have thrown an interception or two that game, but who wants to dwell in the negative, right? But no, like nothing beats high school football, like ever. Like that was as high gets in life.
Are you a Salamanca boy?
So yeah, I lived technically in Salamanca. Like we lived up in the woods. Driveway was a mile long, way out in the country. But we were kind of close to Great Valley, so we went to Ellicottville for school.
Oh, okay. I've heard of it. It's real. Fact check.
Right, graduated like 45 kids.
It's okay. How many are still with us?
my ex-wife is from Salamanca, and just knowing you for the year or two that I've known you, I can already tell you that you are by far in the Hall of Fame of people I know. You are, in my life, you are number one. Salamanca.
Do I dare ask who this is? Because I mean, I do know a lot of people in Salamanca.
I would 100% I would guarantee that I think you might know her because we're around the same age. We'll talk after the show. I heard enough while we were together about. I heard what you said on the podcast.
The great Cody Collin Chase is also from Salamanca.
Yeah, that's right.
Cody,
I played youth basketball with Cody. Oh yeah.
With
that's awesome.
Oh, SYA alum, absolutely. Oh, I remember you got to ask him. Like this is like second, third grade. We thought we were so cool. Whenever somebody made a big shot, we said, "We're milking the cows. We're milking the cows." So I don't know really where that came from. We were little kids, but just bring that to him. He'll know exactly what we're talking about.
Milk and then do the hands. Okay. All right.
Yes.
This is good. So welcome and also congratulations. It is very special to just be honored. And I know it's like a weird part of life when something like that happens. So congratulations and welcome. So
I actually really hope that guy doesn't know what that Tyler just made that up, and you just like walk up to him. Like, how great of a prank would that be? Just like tell him to come up and say something like that.
Right. I just completely made it up. I completely made it up. That's right.
We call him. He's like, I've never heard of this guy. Ever.
Yeah.
Milking the cows. Is this guy out of his mind?
Yeah.
Tyler's got like, we had a secret handshake.
Oh, so good. So good. Also, I heard a little rumor, and this is not, hopefully it's not a rumor. But it's milk and honey to my ears, but I heard you're also a little bit anti Aaron Rodgers, because I'm going to say this. If you want to, I don't think we're playing any games where you have to win my approval, but today, but I am just not a fan, and I love seeing him just crumble and be garbage. And so if you want to at all, when you are talking about like an RB3 and then just throwing a random fact about how much Aaron Rodgers sucks, we are more than happy, and we'll clip that, and I'll just watch it on repeat while I milk the cows. Okay.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, because we used to talk often, like back when I was like an intern and still in college at Syracuse, and I just wanted to be around the team. I wrote at the Packer Report and the Shawano Leader, like lived out of a hotel, and that was the summer that Brett Favre was trying to take his job back, and it was Aaron Rodgers' first year, and we would talk often, and then eventually I'm covering the team at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. We'd sit down for an hour every year, like a big Q&A, really introspective. But I don't know, like when you're in this job, you try to talk to as many people as you possibly can. And as years kind of passed, like into 2014, 2015, started hearing some pretty unsavory things about one Aaron Rodgers, the human being, that was startling. And then I talked to teammates and coaches, and the stories kind of accumulated. And did a story at Bleacher Report in 2016, a story in 2019, and kind of exposed this darker, more unfortunate side. I mean, really, look, I get it. Two sides to every story. I don't want to turn this into an Aaron Rodgers hour. I don't think anybody wants to hear that. But it's also pretty shitty. From what I know, and even as somebody like Ian O'Connor, who wrote the biography, we've talked about it. Like, the family point of view, neither one of us can really figure out what anybody did that warrants getting shut out completely. And it's not just family. You're talking his closest friends, to the point, as I wrote way back when, he's sending the Christmas presents back. He and Olivia Munn sending them back. He's not going to his grandfather's funeral. He's pulling out of one of his closest friends' wedding when he's standing up in it right before, like 4 or 5 really bad things kind of happened. Bang, 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 bang. And a lot of them thought it was like a product of Olivia Munn and her influence. But then they break up. He starts dating other people, and he holds this grudge, and nothing really changes, and nobody knows why. You know, his mom and dad just feel like they've lost a son. It's really sad. So, there's that side, and there's also the football side, which, you know, he's just kind of an ornery 41-year-old who can't really move anymore.
Yeah. This is also when we start telling Louis that stop eating mushrooms, otherwise you'll turn into Aaron Rodgers. So
listen. I respect the mushroom game, and you know that, and I think he could be. Maybe he was a horrible person. I wasn't the greatest person before 40 either, and then I found mushrooms, and now I feel like I think we're both, and he found whatever he found. He's calling it ayahuasca. I think it's a little bit more than that, but
Okay.
and we can both grow and prosper. I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan. You're making me out to be an Aaron Rodgers fan. All I have said,
Drug fan. That's what I'm saying.
no,
You're a drug fan.
all I've said, Tyler, on this podcast is that he becomes this year the best quarterback they've had since second or third last year of Ben Roethlisberger, and they've won every year. So I think he's garbage. I think he's washed. I don't think I think he's a horrible person. I still think he's better than anything they've had there in close to a decade.
Yeah, but what does that get you? Like 7 or 8 wins?
It gets you exactly what they've done probably for the last decade. You know, I'm not saying he's much better than anything they've had. I just think he is better than everything he had. And I called this on this podcast when we did the QB carousel thing, like in February, and I said the only person dumb enough in the league to think that Aaron Rodgers has a little bit more left in him is Mike Tomlin. And I'm not calling Mike Tomlin dumb, because obviously he continues to win. He's got a great system. They have a great culture, but he has never stressed the quarterback position. And I just thought that this was going to be the one guy that Rodgers was going to be able to convince that he can still play or can still help the team.
I'm just like disappointed in the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, being around that team and that coach and that cult, it is different there. You walk around that locker room. This goes back, you know, through the history of time, like before we were all born. I mean, these linebackers, they just they strut around and they snarl and they sneer. And it's like, you look at James Harrison the wrong way, he's just going to backhand you. You know, it's just a different world that they've created over time. And Mike Tomlin has taken to this different level. It's like, you should know this is poison. Like, if you bring him in, good things will not happen. Like, don't fool yourself. You saw it in Green Bay. You saw it with the New York Jets. He hasn't been a good quarterback since 2021. He's going to want to call his own plays, but not only that, he's going to want to run his own offense. What made him great, if you just want to stick to the X's and O's, Lou, like, what made him great in Green Bay was the improvisational stuff with, you know, Cobb and Jordy Nelson and Devontae Adams. It's just like doing whatever he wanted to at the line of scrimmage and not giving a damn what anybody thinks. And like, him and Devontae Adams can just see the same thing in a defense. No hand signal needed. But you can only do that if you can move. and evade that free runner. He can't really do that anymore. We all saw it in Buffalo. I mean, that's what he is at this point. That game, that was like the death of Aaron Rodgers, NFL quarterback there. So if the Steelers are going to talk themselves in to him squeezing out one more good year, they kind of deserve everything they get.
Yeah.
And how dare you besmirch Duck Hodges too? I mean, the Duck Hodges era is not to be forgotten.
I know. I'm sorry. Duck Hodges was 100. I mean, but that's the thing. Like, Duck Hodges was playing meaningful games. Mason Rudolph was playing meaningful games that last year. And I honestly think that they did Fields wrong. I think Fields finds some success in this league. I really thought that I thought Pittsburgh was almost kind of like a perfect team for him to find success. And I think they cut from him too short, mostly because they had Wilson there. But he was the closest thing that I thought that they've had. The last 2 years of Roethlisberger was garbage. So whatever, they keep winning when I don't think that they have a chance to win. So I think, can you tame Rodgers to believe that he can just be a game manager? I don't know. That's the thing. Can you convince him that he could only be a game manager? We'll find out. Whatever it is, it's going to be a shit show, and I want to watch every second of it, right? Like,
that's true.
Duck Hodges, who PFF once wrote, was a better quarterback than Josh Allen. So let's not let that be forgotten. Don't forget that. That article is still out there. I'll find it. That's insane.
The Josh Allen smear. I know nobody here locally will forget it. It was like deafening that rookie year, right into the rookie. Remember a clip from training camp. If it was an incomplete pass, it'd just go viral because it confirmed what all of the haters thought about him not being an NFL quarterback.
Yeah. Where's Josh Rosen now, though? Right, everyone.
He is actually. I think he's back in school. I think he's at MIT or something. I'm not kidding. Yeah, he's in investment, something in investment banking or something. Yeah, he's a smart guy, but not a good quarterback anymore.
Wait, start talking again, Ryan, about how good Josh Rosen is. Keep going. Go in a second.
You continue on with.
Oh, I just muted him. So sorry.
I feel like the majority wanted Josh Rosen, right? But what would have been 65-35? That's probably conservative.
Yeah.
70-30 wanted Rosen over Allen here locally.
Yeah, I think the overall consensus was almost like, if you polled people that year, it was anybody but Allen. Either trade up for Baker or Darnold, maybe you settle into Rosen or sorry, who am I forgetting?
Lamar.
Lamar would have been or trade. Oh yeah, no, that's who. Or trade, settle into Rosen or trade back and maybe get Lamar. But Allen was by far the one that I feel like the consensus wanted the least of, and proved many wrong. I didn't have a strong opinion. My whole thing at that point, which is very abnormal as a Buffalo fan, is just I had a lot of confidence in the general manager. And I was just like, all right, this was his decision. I think he's a really good GM. I'm going to watch it play out. And, obviously it played out perfectly. But
yeah. All right. Well, let me jump in to stop this sports talk and talk about pop culture, everyone. You're welcome. So Everything and Nothing, this is where we just talk about some pop culture stuff. And everyone looks surprised and grossed out with how the world is running right now. So in South Carolina right now, families are getting $25 a week if their kids show up to school every day. So what I want to ask the parents in the room, how awful is it to be a parent of a 6-year-old? Anyone want to take that they will pay you money? Take your kids. What do you guys think about anything? Does that sound enticing?
Wait, it's if they go to school every day, it's $25.
If you bring your child to school for an entire week, you get $25. So one is, how bad is the education in South Carolina? They're like, please, we need smarter people. And also, why aren't people taking their kids to school every day of the week? That's my other question. But
Well,
and
all I know about this is that if New York had this idea, it would be $25 a day, but they'd invent some new tax that allowed them to take back like $12.50 of it. And that's New York would probably love this plan. They're just I don't know. I mean, I get it. You want to help the kids, right? In theory, it sounds like a good idea, but I don't know. I mean, just go to school. Go to school. It's important. Be a good parent. Be a good kid.
If New York had this plan, I would have finished high school. So I would have been there every day. $25 a week. Like, let's go. I'm there for junior year. I'm there for senior year. I'm there, man. I was broke. That's why I had to drop out of school. I was too busy in my other job making abilities.
Yeah, building roofs at 14. We've got so much more. Let's see what else we have.
Wait, you're just gonna let Ty not just get away without answering?
It's pathetic. It's pathetic. I'm with Ryan all the way. I would love to see the New York State equivalent of this, because you just know they would find a way to take some kind of tax out of this situation. And like, the older you get, especially running a business, don't get me going on the taxes. I mean, I won't stop. But yeah, that would be ugly here in New York. But I don't know. It's pathetic. You have to like pay students, pay families to do something that matters to your core. It says a lot about us as a society, and it's just sad.
Or it says a lot about South Carolina.
Yeah.
Masters.
I feel like this kind of shit's probably going on throughout the country, though, too.
Throughout the country, and also South Carolina is now just the Northeast transplants. It's not like, I mean, South Carolina is basically 20% South Carolinians and then 80% of people that move there, right?
Listen, for better or for worse, I will always think of, now when I think of South Carolina, the woman that answered that question at the Miss USA pageant that gave like when she's like talking about, and I think the schools in Africa are the reason they don't know this are because the education system. Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like the most famous.
And I'm 99% sure she's from South Carolina. So
I think you're right.
I mean, the equivalent of this is like, I don't know, Ella had dance earlier this week, and there's like a waiting room, and you can watch, and it's great. And there's some parents with kids who are just, attentive but most parents just throw a screen in front of their kids just to survive the hour. Like, here's a screen. Doesn't matter if they're 1-year-old or 7-year-old. Like, I'm just like, are you kidding me? It's like just trying to survive the hour, survive the day. And like that shit adds up, and it's not good. And that this will have a bad outcome for these kids. If you just think you can just throw money at them every day to go to school, like, it's not going to end well. It is not. For that, you're doing the child a disservice.
Yeah. It's also going to the parents, not even the kids. So it's like, I showed up and you get money for it. Again, 6-year-olds don't really understand that stuff, but it is kind of wild, right? It's just
wow, that's even worse. I thought they were kind of like bribing these kids.
No. Oh yeah, like with you get $25. You get to use that like the vending machine at school.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're glad you go to school. Take all the sugar you want.
Yeah. Here's all this candy with artificial dyes. Go ahead and
in a serious thing that then I'm now thinking this might be too sad, but like some people can't afford school lunches. I know I was someone that, used that service. And if you're like, oh, I can't get lunch, like, we gave you $25 to go to school this week. It's going to cost you $3 to eat. So, like that, it's also good. I don't know. It's so interesting, but it's also,
yeah, no way to make it sad. Fucking Goodwill Hunting.
You want to fix.
Wow, what's that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's a comedy podcast, and fucking Callie wants to talk about the days she was poor while she sits in one of the fucking nicest houses I've ever seen. Stop.
Some bangs.
Listen, okay. I think if we want to fix the education system in America, we just have to bring back the Pizza Hut lunch buffets for finishing in the book club. That's what we need.
Oh,
it's coming back.
100%.
Well, then we're saved. The future of America is saved.
We're good. We good. All right. So look at us just giving our hot takes. Okay. So speaking of school lunches, A new poll shows that 77% of people need to find something to watch before they start eating. That doesn't mean any meal. So whether you're having dinner or having lunch, you have to find something to watch, YouTube, sports, something. Do you guys relate to that? Are you wasted at dinner, or is that like, yeah, no, food is now just zone out and no one talk to me?
I want to hear what Ryan has. How old are your twins now, Ryan?
3.5.
So you're kind of in the same boat. Like we're trying to really instill like sit down, let's talk about our days. Like no TV. But it is I'm not gonna get on the high horse. It's a struggle because sometimes it's all right. Throw the bluey on while we eat here and there. But yeah, trying to do that sit down as much as we can. I think it's important. I don't know. I don't really have a hot take. I think it's good to sit and talk and converse and be a family. And I'm not really sure when that starts. Like when did we start doing that? It might not have been until we were 7 or 8. Really, it is still pretty early. Sonny's 3, our daughter's 5. So we'll give ourselves a little grace here.
It's crazy because I live both worlds, right? Like you guys are living with your kids stuff 7 days a week. I have, 3 days, 1 week, 4 days, 1 week, whatever. I have my daughter 50% up, 50% of the time. So on those days, I'm doing exactly what you're talking about. I'm trying to sit. I'm not even a religious person, but I've made her start doing grace because it's really funny to watch a 4-year-old try to do grace. It's she just says the same shit every day. Like, I really think you're cute and this food looks yummy. Like she'll say the same things. I'm like, it's because I gave her the script about saying that I look cute. Like you say this over and over every day. But like, so it's funny to like do that. And I'm trying to, again, just instill that talk about our days, the whole thing, exactly what you said. When I'm by myself, 100%. And it's never dinner. It's never, I come home and it's, I will sit down, and before I even take a bite, I need to have that background music, whatever it is, set up before I start. So it's funny that study just confirms that I'm doing okay with my chips and dip on my belly as I'm watching
Tony Soprano with the ice cream, right?
Yeah, like as I'm watching the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah.
Louis' daughter is going to get home next week, and he's going to be like, Jelena, we have a new part of the prayer to teach you. And he's going to be like, it's called doing the milking of the cow. We're going to milk the cow. Just start teaching that.
I can't remember. I think it was like this, or yeah. I'm not sure if it was a full milking.
Oh, was it not
Cody?
Okay.
Just ask Cody. He'll know. He'll have all the details.
We'll refine it.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'll ask Cody. Cody's got a young child too. We'll ask Cody too, right?
Yeah.
We'll I think if I'm by myself, I'm usually like listening to a podcast or something. And if I'm with the girls, it's like sometimes we'll have to throw it on, but the goal is to get at the table. That's the way to do it.
All right, that's classy. All right, we'll stop there. I will just throw in really quick because I don't know if Tyler's feels this way, but Miss Rachel had a baby, so that was another great news. And I know you are very much fans of Miss Rachel.
Not a fan of Miss Rachel. Not a fan.
Oh, you're not a fan of Miss Rachel?
You guys are like,
whoa, wait, hold on. We're not going on the football talk just yet. We have a fight here. Wait, why? One, I didn't know she had a baby, so that's all.
Yeah, she welcomed a baby by Steve. Congratulations.
Yeah, saying you don't like Miss Rachel to us is like saying you don't like Mother Teresa. Like you have a really hard battle here. It's not. It's tough.
Go ahead. Why do you not like? I want to hear your reasoning now. Why do you not like Miss Rachel? How do you not like?
Overall,
it seems, I don't know. We only it was like one episode maybe, so maybe I didn't give it a long enough audition. It just seemed like it was too addictive, in the Coco Melon genre of kids shows. It was, I don't know, it just something fell off. It was a sixth sense. There's something addictive here. There's something with what's the word I'm looking for?
Baby voice.
Like how
Yeah,
she's talking and just like a little hypnotizing, you're saying? Like a little bit like yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan sent me like like a YouTube video yesterday. I think it was like what those type of shows like. Yeah, it was. What was the comedian? I forgot his name.
Stimulation. That's the word I was thinking of. I don't know. Like the
Stimulation.
stimulation was a little too much.
Okay.
Yeah, Drewski just came out with a skit where he's like talking about what it would be like behind the scenes.
that was hilarious.
You saw it, yeah.
They're like doing coke in the back, and then they're coming out like doing all the. Yeah, she does seem like when anybody is that, nice. I'm a pessimist. I'm like, all right, what's your problem? What's your issue? I think she's helped my daughter learn some stuff. Number one, that's got to be number one. Number two, could get it. 100% hot. She's hot. I don't care. And I do think that this baby, after like 2 years, as soon as she learns how to talk, her first word's going to be "shut up," because she like I could just imagine Miss Rachel the whole time like, "Hi, baby," and she was in 2 years like, "No, we're not talking."
Right. I mean, I don't give me Bluey, give me Scooby Doo. Even Steve and Maggie is okay in my book. There's so many other shows with a little bit of a story, right? It's not
yeah.
I don't know.
I always thought that Scrappy was Scooby's illegitimate child, but they didn't want to scare the kids. Anyway, we're gonna go into
How do you not think that is smoke?
Oh God,
that is 100% smoke. And whatever she again helped my daughter and smoke. Very nice.
Okay.
I'm a Miss Rachel fan and will be forever.
It's your baby, isn't it?
It might be my baby. Me, Miss Rachel, and Maury. Tune in next week. We'll find out.
Well, we are going to switch it up, and we're going to talk football. Let's talk about the NFL draft hot takes. So we're just going to talk about our favorite hot takes of the week of recent. So who wants to go first? Tyler?
My hot take. All right. If you do a 7-round mock draft, you should be exiled to another country. Is that hot enough? You should be kicked out of the United States, and you're not allowed to come back until the end of the football season. They're just worthless. It's a waste of time. So if all of the energy that was put into mock drafts was put into, some good, imagine what could get done in this country, right?
I love that.
I hate mock drafts. Ryan knows this. I hate mocks.
Yeah.
I know they're fun. I know they're entertaining. But it's just all a bunch of bullshit and people making up stuff and nobody knows anything. And I've done them in the past. Like, they're fun. I look at them. It's like crack. It's like watching Miss Rachel, I guess. Miss Rachel has all these views. These mock drafts have all these clicks. So maybe I'm missing out on something there go along. But I hate them. I hate them.
No.
It's like the illegitimate child or, of the power ranking. I hate power rankings. It's disgusting. No thanks. So I guess that's my hot take for now.
Do you have any specific player hot takes of like somebody that you think might go higher or lower than people are expecting?
Shedeur Sanders is going to be the story of the draft because it could go either way, right? I think he could fall out. He could. He's now we're talking about him patting the ball at his pro day, and is this like, are we overreacting? Is this Jamar Chase saying it's weird to catch a pro ball because it doesn't have the stripes on it, and like we shouldn't be really talking about it, or is this like a red flag that is a sign this isn't a NFL franchise quarterback? It might be. I mean, he didn't run a 40. There's a scout who told shameless plug. I'm sorry, Bob McGinn. 41st annual draft series at the site. He talks to scouts all over the country. They give him some wild stuff, the good, the bad, the ugly, all that. But one of these scouts told Bob like that he would have bet his life salary in the NFL. He said this a year ago that Shedeur Sanders would not run a 40-yard dash because he's that slow. So the son of Dion really isn't that fast, really isn't that athletic. He's patting the ball. So many throws like from 0 to 5 yards, but he was really accurate. Colorado was a laughing stock before they got there. As much as Dion can do, Shador's the quarterback. I mean, he's the one really changing shit in the locker room and getting guys to believe that that means something, especially if you're going to get drafted by a bad team. Maybe you got to turn that bad team around. So could the Browns or the Giants talk themselves into it early? And if not, do the Saints take him? If not, does he fall all the way to the bottom of the first round? The variance on Shador Sanders, like I don't know what my take is on it. I tend to think he'll get drafted in the top 10 because of the need. Teams need quarterbacks. Somebody could talk themselves into Shador Sanders, but it might blow up too.
I mean, how much of his success was coaching versus talent, going into that? So I don't know. I'm very interested in that too. And I'm still waiting for Dion to pick up that Cowboys coaching gig.
Yeah.
I still think that, I mean, obviously it's going to happen this year, but I still think that might be something that happens if he goes to a spot that doesn't have like a real strong coaching candidate. That year 2, year 3, maybe they try to pair them up. Rye, what are your takes before I jump on that?
Sure. Just with Sanders to start, I see him. This kind of reminds me of that EJ Manuel draft year where, other than Cam Ward, you don't really have like a lot of talent. But look where EJ went. He still went 16, right in the middle of the first round after a trade back from 8 to 16. I think that's where he's going to go. I think he's going to go in the teens. Someone's going to trade up to get him as he starts to fall. This is a weird draft because there are really not 32 first round, grade players at all. I think it's a deep class, but not a really top end class. Is from all the scouting stuff that I've been reading. That's the consensus. So in those situations, what I think teams are going to do, like the Giants, they're going to be forced. Their hands going to be forced to take the best player available. I know Shane, they have the pressure on, but that's why they just went and signed 2 quarterbacks so that they can trade back up in the first and get someone and make the argument that was their plan all along. So, they're going to, I could see a little bit of a fall, but I 100% expect, and maybe this is, a sign that I should bet it, but I expect that Shador goes in the first round. I think there are just the position, the need at the position is too high. As far as other takes, I do think that these running back, it's, I guess, not really too hot of a take, but I expect it to be a pretty big shakeup. So I expect Travion Henderson to potentially go, late first. I think Judkins can go higher than expected. Obviously they're already talking about Amari and Hampton going in the first round. I think it's going to be a monumental shift, and I think they could go a little bit earlier than expected, again, based on the quality of the class relative to the rest of the positions.
Yeah, it's funny that you guys that Ty started off with just mentioning him, but that was going to be my hot take, that I think he falls. I think he falls, and I think it can get to a point where he probably doesn't fall too far because, to Tyler's point, just if they just always get overvalued too much in the draft. I think somebody probably, if he's still there in like the mid 15 or like the mid teens, I think someone probably eventually goes up. So somebody doesn't, get them, even if those, because I don't think any of those teams are really quarterback needy in that like specific area, but whatever. I think that could be the spot that he'll end up going, but I wouldn't be shocked if he fell into the late of the round either. Like, I just think you're, like, again, you never know what smokescreen is. I've never loved the prospect. I don't even think Cam Ward's that good. I do think, like you said, this is the EJ Manuel draft. I'm on a fantasy perspective, don't want to be even in super flex leagues. I don't want any part of drafting these quarterbacks this year. I think this is the one year that in super flex leagues, you're going to have a couple running backs, maybe a couple wide receivers. And honestly, in tight end premium leagues, like 1 or 2 of these tight ends ahead of any of these quarterbacks. I just think that they're that garbage. I know Ward's going to go 1-1, and so that's going to obviously make him one of the top picks in super flex drafts. Sure, it won't be me. I don't know if this is really a hot take, but it felt like it until I looked up the odds. I didn't realize how much Amika Ibuka has kind of fallen on a lot of people's radars here. His over under is 29.5. I would have expected it a lot more as far as like what pick he's going. I thought it was a lot higher than that. I thought he was kind of projecting as a top 20 pick. So I was surprised to see that. And honestly, I don't think any of those late first round picks, Bills, KC, even Washington, now that they got Debo, I don't think that any of them are going to, like, wide receivers not their top priority. And I don't think anyone's going to move up into the round to take a wide receiver, because I do think a few guys might, I think if anyone's moving up, they're going to move up to get maybe a Dort or even like a running back that may have fallen towards the end of that first round. So I think he ends up falling out of the first round. Like I said, I thought that was a way hotter take before I saw that his over-under pick was 29.5. But that's kind of where I am on my two takes.
Wow. And you thought I was being a Debbie Downer talking about school lunches being free. So, okay. Louis G, everyone. Want to rebuttal anything? Ryan, you made some great points. Anyone want to talk about that, or no?
I'd like to. I'm interested in this next game. I think it's going to be interesting to talk about this. It's a fun exercise.
All right, look at us. Okay, so we are doing a segment, Who Would You Rather? And I'm going to give you two different draft scenarios for two separate players. Then I want to know each of your opinion on who you'd be more excited for fantasy. Okay, so first up, who would you rather have? Dylan Sampson if he goes in a second round to Philly, or Devin Neal if he is picked in the 5th round to the Raiders as their only drafted running back? Okay, so we're going to go, let's do Ryan, Tyler, and then Louis.
So it's tough in the situations where I have a pretty big gap in what I think of the two prospects. So I'm starting to warm up to the idea of Dylan Sampson. And even if it's a tough situation, I get the thought of, do you want the running back that's drafted later, that's in a better situation, so to speak, because of lack of competition, or do you want the insulated draft, the draft capital, right? The confidence that the team showed in the player, which last year didn't really work out, right? You look at Trey Benson, that was a bust. Blake Corum, total bust. Jalen Wright, bust. Traded up to get him. But I don't really think in this situation I think I'd rather have a second round pick. I think the gap between a second and a 5th round pick, especially when we're talking about, making a plunge in the 50s or the 60s in a running back in a deep class, that says a lot about what they think about that player. So even if it's in Philly, you're looking at the 1B and a potential handcuff to the best running back situation in the league. Hell yeah, sign me up for Dylan Sampson all the way.
What was the question again? Who was the other running back?
We've got Dylan Sampson and Devin Neal.
Devin Neal to the Raiders or Dylan Sampson to Philly. But Dylan Sampson in the 2nd to Philly, or Devin Neal in the 5th to the Raiders. Obviously Raiders being a better opportunity, so to speak, for a running back.
Give me old Dylan Sampson here out of Tennessee. Yeah, I had to pull up Bob's stuff here to see what the scouts had to say, because I only saw him in passing, like the dads know. Saturday, you're kind of catching up on some life and out playing with the kids, and it's my college football consumption during the football season is very minimal. So I vaguely kind of remembered him, but just catching up. So he broke all of Eddie Lacy's records back in high school. So that means something. Eddie Lacy, what could have been, man?
That's
been.
Name. I know.
Oh God, I covered him at the Journal Sentinel, and I'll never forget. We got dinner ahead of his rookie season, and it was so fascinating. He basically admitted Hurricane Katrina wiping out his home, just robbed him of his whole childhood. He never had the chance to be a kid. That he was broken from that whole experience and didn't really like football. He just kind of did it because he was good at it. Meanwhile, he is pounding food I've never seen a player pound food when I've done these interviews with a player. And I kind of joke about it because there is a seriousness to it. He's opened up on it. He had an addiction to food. He ate his way out of the NFL. It's really sad because when he was locked in, Like he was unbelievable those first 2 years. That team should have went to the Super Bowl and won it his second year. But anyways, so
where's the
Dylan
place
Sampson's
with like the
breaking those
worst
records.
food? Like imagine if he like ended up somewhere that just has awful food. Like he'd be the best football player ever. Like he couldn't, you know what I mean? Like just no temptation.
Well,
What
do you
is
remember
that?
when he
What is
showed-
that? Arizona. What town is that? Let's do that. That's funny. What NFL town would be the worst food? Man, I don't know. Arizona, maybe.
Seattle?
Seattle might be. I don't know what Seattle's good
No,
for.
Seattle's got the seafood.
Oh, Seattle's got
Yeah,
the
but don't
Anywhere on
wrong.
the coast, yeah.
Mess you up.
Are Permane sandwiches overrated, Louis? I know you tell us.
I do think they are. Oh man, that's a really good question. Detroit doesn't have anything good, right? What's Detroit?
Oh, Detroit style pizza is amazing. Are you kidding me?
I know.
They're not better than our pizza.
You, Louis, get out of here.
Chicago pizza, New York City pizza. Like, come on. Detroit's
Yeah.
Cincinnati's underrated. The Eagle has this fried chicken like right around the corner from the stadium. And they got the
That's
chili.
Skyline
Yeah.
chili too would be dangerous though.
That's going to be one of our future drafts. Right now, I can tell you. All right, I'm sorry. What are we talking? Oh, the Dylan Sampson thing. I'll go quick on this because we got to get through this segment. Dylan Sampson outside of Caleb Johnson's my biggest bust in this draft as far as from the running backs. He's undersized. He can't block. No pass catching ability. Philly would be a horrible spot for him, obviously, but I don't know how people have him as fourth or fifth, like top running back. And to the other extreme, like I don't understand why people have Neal as low as they do. Like he's had I think he's had 180, 203, 219 carries his last 3 seasons. Like he didn't have a great combine, so that hurt him. He ran like a 4.58 or something like that. He's had 16 touchdowns in each of his last 2 years. Like, I don't know. And Pat Kerrane loves him, and I'm a big fan of Pat Kerrane and everything he says. So I'm gonna go Devin Neal, especially with the rate. Like, if he ended up with the Raiders when they drafted nobody else, that would be such a huge opportunity. He would almost walk into the possibility of being day one starter. So I'll go Devin Neal there.
Okay, cool. So we're going to do rapid fire for the next 3 questions. And then I have a very serious question to ask everyone. So rapid fire, who would you rather? DJ Giddens, if he gets drafted RD3 by Indy, or RJ Harvey drafted RD5 by Chicago if they don't draft another running back? Ty, do you want to take this one first?
I got to go DJ Giddens. We just talked yesterday. So we'll have a story on him. Sorry.
That's cool.
Sorry for another plug. That's
promo.
Yeah. He a man of few words, very soft spoken, very serious. But he, growing up as a kid, he didn't even really watch football. He just loved fishing. He went fishing all the time. So he was telling me the story of like catching a 30-pound catfish out there. He grew up like 20 minutes from Kansas State. Great, really good person. You can just tell he's wired the right way. He's locked in. Give me DJ Giddens.
Well,
yeah.
Fine, go.
Go on, Ryan.
Yep, I'll go Giddens as well. I think it's a toss up here. They're different players. DJ Giddens, I think, is more of an early down back. Harvey's the pass catching guy, as far as I understand. Typically you want those guys, but I like what I've been hearing about Giddens, and he has a really good RAS score. So he could surprise. I think I'm taking Giddens here too.
Yes, 6.55 yards per carry. His last year. I think people have this, he's going to be like Deuce Vaughn because they went to the same school type of thing, but it's just not. They're 2 different players. Giddens much bigger, much more built for an every down back. Harvey's undersized. He's very short and stocky, like a Ray Davis type. Like he had a knack for the end zone. I just don't think it's going to translate to the NFL. He's somebody I'm off of. Giddens all the way.
All right. Great insight, everyone. So question number 3, who would you rather? Travion Henderson if he was drafted RD2 by Detroit, or Brashard Smith if he was drafted RD4 by Cincinnati if they had no other running back? Let's go, Louis.
I do think this is going to depend on how my fantasy team would be built, because I do think Brashard Smith would have the better immediate impact, even no matter where they were drafted. I think in that scenario, I think Smith would be more suited to spell Chase Brown perfectly, where he's going to be more of a receiving back, and he'll always have a role in this league no matter where he goes, because that's what he's built for. He was a former wide receiver for 3 years, converted running back, like whatever, shifty. I think he's always going to have a role. I do really love Travion Henderson as a spot. I think Detroit would be a horrible spot for him. I don't necessarily think that they are going to go to running like without Johnson there anymore. Are they going to focus on the RB2 as much? And even then, like, was Montgomery just really good as RB2 and that's why they used him? Or was it a 2 running back offense? I would really hate that spot for Henderson. So with this, I'm going to go, I'm going to go Brashard Smith.
With a non-long-winded answer, Louis. Wow.
I went quick. That was as short-winded as I get.
Yeah, I was like, Tyler, what do you have?
I mean, I know Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, best 1-2 punch in professional football. Like, it's hard to imagine anybody else in that room getting, at the dinner table, they're just getting scraps. They're getting crumbs, but the position gets beat up. Like, these running backs are just hit and hurt and injured. And it's such a war of attrition through a 17, soon to be 18 game schedule. I don't know. I feel like if you're a really good player and Travion Henderson is a really good player, you find a way to get the ball and make an impact. And in Detroit with that offensive line, I know Ben Johnson's gone, but I feel like that's just a well-oiled machine. They'll keep that thing going. I love Henderson. Also, he's like really well liked. He was in the building at Ohio State. Like, the coaches loved him, teammates loved him. It just seems like he's going to be low maintenance, bust his ass, just play in the NFL for a decade, wherever, however.
I will milk an actual cow if on the podcast if Detroit takes Travion Henderson in the second round. But even still, I will also take Travion Henderson here. I can't wait to take him. I still would have to take him.
Our Ohio State guy. So anything that Ryan, I do have. Oh yeah, and then can I just ask my question?
Yeah.
This was my again a sports question, which is very serious. Who would you rather? And Tyler, you'll go first on this. Then Ryan, then Louis. What would you rather be, the foot that Rex Ryan sucks on, or the piece of gum that Pete Carroll chews?
There's no third option.
I would rather be the piece of gum.
You don't need one.
I'm like picturing, like it would feel good. It's like getting like a chiropractic adjustment, like.
It's a day at the spa. It's a day at the spa. 2 different spas here. I give you the Pete Carroll spa. I'm with you.
I take 6-7 showers a day. Give me the sucking. I'll be the foot. I'll be the foot.
That's what you need to cut. Just cut that. Give me the sucking. That's right there.
Ryan's gonna milk a cow. Louis is gonna his foot blown. I'm so
the best would you rather question of that segment. That was good.
All right. So we are going to now right. So we've picked 2 chews and a foot. Is that what we've decided?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Right. 2 chews and 1 foot.
I love me some Pete, so it'd be 3 chews for me.
Can I break your heart on Pete Carroll really quick, Allie?
Oh no, yes.
I hate to break this news to you. Pete Carroll is a walk onto the elevator before you get off the elevator guy. I know. He probably doesn't return a shopping cart. He probably uses those flossing devices and just tosses it into the parking lot. There's no civility when it comes to Pete Carroll.
Allie has a huge crush, so you just really broke her heart because that's her.
Now you're going to tell me the Harborough brothers' glasses really aren't bifocals? No.
This comes from Jim Monis, my old podcast cohort. He was on an elevator at, I think it was a combine or a Senior Bowl, whatever it was, back in his day with the Bills, and tried to get off the elevator, and Pete Carroll just barged his way right on like an absolute barbarian.
Oh, I'm gonna blame the Skechers slip-ons for being so fast. Oh man, so sad about this. All right,
Sorry, I'm sorry. I just threw you for a loop there.
Well, my number one
it's
draft.
very unfortunate.
Next one is gonna still be number 2. All right, we're gonna draft having a beer with any head coach in history. So we're gonna draft that, and we are going to try to be as swift as possible. Our dear Ryan has to catch a flight to the Masters. So
it's got a hockey game. So we'll blow through this. I got the order here. I finally got a number 1 pick. I'm 1. We got Tyler 2, Allie 3, and then Ryan, you're 4, and you'll do the spin around. We'll do 4 quick rounds with the number 1 pick of who I would want to have a beer with the most. I think there's an obvious number 1. I think it's got to be Mike Ditka. I think he was just such a good personality, and I think he would just be one of the best conversations. Player, coach, like was in like when men were men in the game. I love it. Mike Ditka is my 1-1, and I think that's good.
was mean to my dad, but anyway, go on.
He was.
Oh, I'll tell you.
A lot of people have been mean to your dad. Let's face it.
Oh, he was just drunk playing pool, and he was mean to him. So anyway, go on.
All right. Is it my selection right now?
Yeah. It is.
Okay. I've got a major upset here. I just because I know Ryan's a smart man, he might poach this coach straight from under me. I'm not going to wait. If you like a prospect, you got to take the prospect, and you don't look back. I'm going Greg Williams. Greg Williams.
That's good.
Bills legend, Greg Williams. 2 G's on 3 G's actually.
Was that a little before your time, right, covering the team?
What's that?
That was a little before your time covering the team, so I'm sure you didn't have much interaction with them.
Right. Well, I remember being a kid watching his press conferences and being like, man, who is this prick? Like, he just doesn't say anything. Looks like guys don't like him. And then I talked to him a few times, like in my later years, for different stories and for my book on the tight ends. And he is just like football to the bone. Obviously, a little Bounty Gate stuff on the side. We'll get into that over some beers. But, he loves the sport as it was intended by the football gods themselves. It's mano a mano. It's violence. 2 men enter an arena, 1 leaves, and he is not going to change his ways. So I love it. I want to throw back some beers with him. And I heard he is actually really fun to grab some beers with. So Greg Williams it is.
That's important for sure in this draft. If you have a good reputation, that counts.
I mean, he does piss people off too. I'm sure like a lot of people that wouldn't want to have a beer with Greg Williams, but I'll go. We'll get some.
Allie.
All right, with a 409, 136, 3 record, Bill Paterno. No, okay, so I'm going to
That's really funny. No, it's good.
I would just be like, fuck you. Okay. I'm going to go Gabe Kapler from the former San Francisco Giants head coach. So hot.
Oh, you're going baseball.
Well, he's so hot. And then he lost his job and he started selling watches. And there's something about a destroyed man. And he dyes his beard, which is kind of gross. And I don't know. Woo. Okay.
He's so hot. Ellie went to a whole nother sport. Go ahead, Ryan. You got 2.
Ellie shows up for a beer with Joe Paterno and walks in. He starts to introduce himself. She just goes, "What do you know? What did you know? What did you know?"
But legit, I would. Oh, what a noodle. Okay, anyway.
All right.
I think you and Joe Paterno are the You're the absolute opposite of what
give us a podcast. Forget jobs. Get a podcast.
All right.
R.I.P.
All right.
I don't know.
All right. I'm gonna pick someone. It's a bit controversial, but you need someone with some pizzazz. Someone that's going to be interesting, right? And the first person, I just keep coming back to this person wanting to grab a beer with this coach, John Gruden. I think would be fun to go sit and have a beer with. Yeah, I know Allie is not a fan of that pick for I think can be considered obvious reasons. But at the same time, you know what? Just go have a beer with him and I think it'd be fun. So my next pick, I actually was very surprised that Allie did not pick this gentleman as her first
Wait,
pick.
wait. You don't get 2 in a row.
I'm fourth.
You're
Yeah.
snaking.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were third. I apologize. I'm yelling at you.
That's
Go
right.
ahead. Go.
Yeah, I'm not going to get poached on this coach. It's Dan Campbell and his wonderful teeth.
That's so
Steel teeth.
Kneecap biting. He's like I know he's new school and it's recency bias, but I just really like what I see from him every time he's like on camera or everything. I like his passion. I feel like it, and he drinks a ton of coffee. So that's, I have that in common with him. So yeah, Dan Campbell and John Gruden. Are you kidding me? What a start.
See, I didn't know we were going current coaches too. What a missed opportunity on Dan Campbell.
Any of all time. Yeah.
I just smashed
Solid.
the like button on that. I love me some Dan Campbell. Oof. All right. Just to cut up this toxic masculinity, I'm going with the another soccer coach, everyone. We're going Jurgen Klopp, who's a German professional, but he manages Liverpool. Liverpool is a fantastic team. I know I'm the only person besides Ryan that watches soccer, but Liverpool did so well this past season. Jurgen is such an amazing coach, and he's fine as hell. Okay. Again, right? Because that's like me on a date. I'm having a beer with someone. Okay.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Different situation there.
I'm super attracted to Mike Ditka, so I get it.
You just wait till I tell you that story. Okay. Louie, you're next.
No, I'm not.
Tyler, you're next.
Oh, okay. So this selection, this could be like the best night or the worst night with this coach. I mean, it could be absolute utter disaster because I was at the combine. This would have been, 5-6 years ago. I remember the next day out at the bar, me and a few other writers, we were talking to one of the bartenders, and she's like, "Did you hear what John Fox did in here last night?" I'm like, "What?" And she told us the craziest story about John Fox just like getting into like this all-out fight with people, and it was absolute mayhem. And so I mean, it might end like that, but give me John Fox. Like, it's gonna be wild. You don't know how the night's gonna end. He's probably gonna throw back a few too many pops if this bartender is to be believed. And I don't know. You know what? We want to have. It's just one night. Throwing back some beers. Anything goes. Greg Williams, John Fox. Who the hell knows what's going to happen?
I love that. My last pick of the second round, I'm going to go Sean McVay here because that dude is attracting some hot girls, and I will take whatever. He could take the first 7. And I will take the 7.2, but I will take whatever's left over. But he is going to bring them over to us. Whatever. I'll ask him some football questions, but I want all the attention that he's going to bring over to me. And that's one thing. And then a guy that I would really like to just, not for attractiveness or bring it, but Jerry Glanville. Old school one, I think would just be so. My uncle sold him a car in Houston years ago, and said he was just one of the most, one of his favorite personalities he's ever met, in that industry. And I'm in with hanging out with little Jerry Glanville. Back to you, Ty.
I got to go Vince Lombardi because John Fox is just. Getting into fights with people all over the place, and Greg Williams is ready to brawl because he's old school football. I'm gonna probably want to sit down and talk about the game with somebody, right? At some point this night, you want to learn about football. You want to hear some old stories. You want to get some wisdom, right? It's that point of the night, and Vince Lombardi is going to give you all the wisdom you need when it comes to this beautiful sport. Give me the greatest ever.
Classic. Also, probably a great guy to go on a date with, Tyler. So I'm glad you picked that. So again, just because I know I'm going to get 4th place in this draft, was in love with him in 1997. I got to meet him when I was doing the in-game hosting at the Rochester Amerks. My hand was sweaty when I got to shake it after the game. The New York Rangers assistant coach, Mike Peca. Wow. Yeah. What an amazing guy. So talented, great vision, so great at coaching, like just an amazing human, like loves the sport. And he is he will stop you in your tracks if you Mike Pekka.
All right. I have 2 picks left. And then I'm actually going to just jet out here because I am pretty late. So I'm going to just pick and go. So first pick is I want like a legend. I want like a legend of the game. So I'm going to go Bill Belichick. I also want to find out if he has anything interesting to talk about with his much younger girlfriend, so I can kind of get the intel. Like, how is he making this work? Is he aware of what's going on? Okay, so that's my first pick. And then, guys, I have an opportunity to do this, so I'm going to take it. I, would be remiss if I didn't take my boy, the one and only former head coach of the Saints, Kevin James, everybody, is my last pick.
Yes, man. We have not had a Kevin James reference in a while, and hopefully this is the one that brings him on the pod next week. But
Tyler may not know, but I have a running bit where I try to bring up Kevin James as much as possible in these shows.
That's amazing.
I get off the list at the last second before getting off the pod, but Tyler, thanks for joining us before I got to jump.
Hey, Rye, good luck with hockey. Good to see you,
Thanks,
and we'll see you next week. All right.
That was so good. I was going to pick Bill Belichick because I wanted to know if I had anything less exciting to say than his I'm his girlfriend, Tyler. I'm like, let's go, we got this, and I think she's probably very interesting. But if I just even ruined his life more by having a beer with him and then talking Real Housewives for an hour, he'd be like, I hate it.
You don't ask him one question about football, you're just telling him all about your life.
Yeah, I don't.
That would be so great.
I'm like, just not one question. Bandits.
It's what he needs. No. His ego needs that. That'd be perfect.
Yeah. Just make it weird. I'm like, and also, are you just grossed out by your son?
You wear your Bandits championship rings because he wears his rings everywhere.
Yes.
You wear Allie has 2 Bandits championship rings for being the in-game announcer. She just wears her 2 championship rings just talks about them all the time.
Just set them on the table prominently.
I'm like, hey Bill, can I call you Green Fingers because your rings are rusty? And he's like, what? I can't wait to never do that. So
I mean, we've normalized that relationship as a society too much. It is unbelievably disgusting and gross and weird. I'm sorry. We can't take him or it seriously.
It's weird. It's weird. I mean, he's in his
she's a third of his age, right? Younger than that.
23 or 24, right?
But you are talking to a girl that likes the older guys over there, so
70-year-olds.
Okay.
Boy, I hit a sore spot there. I'm sorry.
No, if you look at there's so many. I mean, I just name all the 12 disciples. I'm like, they're all hot and they're old.
The more wrinkles, the better, right?
I mean, there's confidence. There's a little bit of a do your own thing. There's
a 5-year plan. Don't die, right?
Yes, I mean Pete Carroll. I mean that bro, he's still got cute hair. He's he's wearing a slip-on.
Pete Carroll does not look anywher near his age. I can kind of understand that. Pete Carroll does look, Pete Carroll doesn't look
Fox.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wait till Dan Campbell's gonna get a little chunky though.
Yeah, you got Dan Campbell sniped from you. Are you going Pete Carroll here, or what are you doing here?
I'm gonna go. I'm going. Do I make? I'm gonna be weird. I'm gonna go Ernie Pantuso, who was coach from the TV show Cheers.
Oh, that's good.
I just want to make sure I don't win this draft. So
no, that's actually a really good one. You should have went with Coach from the show Coach. That the dude. What was it was the guy from what the fuck was his name? Oh god. All right, Tyler, go on.
I'll go Herm Edwards. Anytime I have an excuse to call Herm, I call him, and he just makes me smile and it makes me laugh. He's such a good person and just has all the time in the world for everybody. What you see on TV with Herm, in your face. I mean, he could have an opinion on this set of glasses, anything. He has an opinion on it, and it's genuine, and he's fun. Give me Herm Edwards at the bar.
I love that.
That's awesome. I'm gonna close this out with Marvin Lewis. And I know that seems like a weird pick, but I would like to know what he did to stay employed for as long as he did, just so I have that knowledge for later on if I'm working somewhere not doing great, really struggling to produce, how I can do whatever he did to keep his job for as long as he did, because that's one of the most impressive feats in sports, I think, is sticking around as long as he did. So I will close with Marvin Lewis.
Classic. Any that was a great draft. I really should have locked in Joe Paterno. Any honorable mentions from anyone? Anyone you would want to have brunch with? I was thinking the Buffalo Bandits head coach John Tavares is also a great person to have. But
yeah,
no,
I legit I did not have a long list. I think Rex would be fun, just because he's just so out there, and I think he would be one of those that just would really just to Tyler's point about a couple of people he talked about, like he would just. Rex seems like a guy that you can sit and have a beer with without it being set up that you're going to have a beer with him. You just happen to be at the same bar, and within an hour you would know everything about him. And I told the story last week, Tyler, when him and his brother got fired. I own a home improvement company, and Rob called me to fix. He called me and asked if I did any drywall repair. They were gone. He had a lease and do some drywall repair before he left. I show up to take a look at it, and there's just fucking punch holes, like literally in the basement, just through. And I just imagine just him and Rex just fucking just so pissed off, drunk, like on a Sunday night after a game, just going.
That's
down.
phenomenal.
We're going to the punch basement, But Rex,
it sounds made up. Like that sounds made up, really.
Oh,
it's so dorky.
I promise you, it's not.
That's amazing.
What it's so not, and then like you're pulling your hand out of an open. Well, and then while riding tandem bicycles, like what?
Right, you're a grown man, and you know what's gonna happen if you punch this wall. Like you have to repair said punched wall. Like they're can't process that, which.
He was so transparent about it, because when I asked him, I go, well, because I didn't know it was Rob Ryan, before until I got there. So I didn't know it was him. So I, obviously over the phone. So when I'm asking him what kind of repairs, he didn't like, oh, there was a mistake or whatever. He goes, couple punch holes, like he legit, but he was just so open on the phone call.
Like it's Tuesday, and a punch hole dude, he just does it all the time. Yeah.
It legit, he was, it was one of those jobs that sounded like something, if 90% of the people, I would have been like, no, but because this dude said this, I was like, oh, I got to go check this out. I got to go meet this guy. And then it turns out to be Rob Ryan. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that on podcast, but whatever.
He's gone.
Yeah.
I would love to see your Snapchat history show up when you're probably the entire time like just filling it and not recording. Yeah. Well, this was so lovely. Thank you so much, Tyler, for stopping by and talking. I know you're busy, and I know it's going to get only crazier. So thank you. Glad you're feeling well, and congratulations on your Hall of Famer status. Very exciting. Good luck this season, and thank you. And everyone, this is Analytics are for the Nerds. Thank you for listening. We will be on next week at Tuesday, and we'll see you then.